Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again to Tropico 6 Return to Nature. I'm enjoying this DLC and I'm glad you're still sticking around. Take a cup of coffee or tea, sit back, relax and enjoy. As we're changing the shape of this island, of this city for good in this episode. We just entered World War, built us a bit more industry, right, that we already see is profiting us quite a bit. When I look at my revenue, we can see that the biggest export was already boats and then rum, right? So my two most important products are booming for us, and boats is only gonna go up now as we have the next shipyard going and working. Very good, that is. As we can see, there's also lots of stuff already waiting again. And we just continue onwards now with a bunch of restructuring of my island, right? It's important, it's necessary. We wanna transition now into a proper city at some point now. So I'm gonna do a few things here. First of all, this one here is gonna be my dedicated industry zone now, right? So no more separation here. So we're basically making this road around this area here, and then also continue here with another road. We can have another shipyard here, so I'm actually gonna have my road here not built at the moment. And then we need to move a bunch of things around. So the first one is my distilleries. Both of the rum distilleries I'm gonna move now down here into this area where we can have them, and where I'm making sure that they continue producing. So we could have them, for example, right here in the heart of it, or also just here. These buildings here probably stay, so I might just have my distillery like this, right? And then we have the second rum distillery right next to it. So both of them are now working down here by the Teamster office. Speaking about the Teamster office, I would also like to move at least another one down here again, so that we have a bunch of them now down here. These are the transporters getting the resources back and forth. We definitely will need to have a Teamster office up here as well, where we have our industry situated, right? So we're probably going to have this one here. Speaking about industry relocation, one thing is very important, and that's my farms. Right now, we have this giant corn farm in the center of it all. It's not a beautiful one, and in this case here, we want to move it. Problem with the farms though is, you need to watch out for fertility. Now, since we have now cars as of World War, Teamsters, right? So they're using trucks. They're much faster than before. So it means that we can have a greater distance now of traveling. So up here we can see there's a good corn efficiency going for us. And I'm gonna make sure that we also use this corn efficiency here right in the radius of the other plantations that we have. So we have the tobacco here, we have the coffee here, there's now my corn. Can I have something else that would profit us? So I know that tobacco is important, so we can have another tobacco up there then. Great. Pineapple is okayish, I'd say. It's okay here, it's okay here. This is also a nice one, right? Cotton is not good. Rubber, we're gonna need rubber. Let's go ahead and get us a rubber plantation going here too. Perfect. Just at the end of this road, gonna make the connection over there. And if I move this a bit further to the back here, we can get an efficiency out of a cotton plantation a bit. It's not ideal, but it's fine. There's really no other efficiency here anymore that we can work with, alright? So we gotta make sure that we use those fields to the maximum. And let's have the road going all the way up here. Now, let's quickly build this one. And let's quickly build this one here. It's rather cheap. What I can do now is I'm going to switch the mode work here to multiculture. Decreases the base efficiency of the farm by 40%. But the plantation gets a 10% efficiency bonus for every other plantation in the vicinity that uses the same work mode with a different crop. Right, so that's why it's important to have this going. And this immediately drops my efficiency now for all of them. But at the same time, we'll increase it once all of them work. I'm also going to increase the budget for all my plantations now to get the efficiency up, right? The thing is also, you need to have multiculture at some point because the monoculture decreases the fertility over time for this one. So we need to switch this around anyway. Okay, so we have a space available here. We still have the sugar down there. Switching the sugar over there would just be lovely. Unfortunately, there's really no fertility for it, so I can't do that. However, we don't need the sugar plantations that much anymore since I also have my beekeeper now, and they produce a lot of sugar. They're not even upgraded yet, and we can even have more beekeepers close by. So why not just do this? So I think the sugar will be secured. This one here has no meaningful upgrade, so it's only working now. Look at that, at 29% efficiency, this sugar plantation here with this monoculture. despite being in a good fertility radius. So it's really not something you can have anymore for that much longer, right? This one is working at 45 efficiency. And as you can see, the beekeepers, they remain at 200% efficiency. So they're just pushing it out like crazy. So what's really important is that we want to change this whole area here, right? So if I look at my money, we can also see at export that gold is barely bringing us anything in, right? It's meaningless, really. It's the same value as tobacco. The thing is, gold is really low volume and you're not producing a lot of that. So I'm gonna keep the gold here for now, but we're gonna switch everything else away from it. So let's relocate the sugar to another location entirely. And yes, I'm gonna relocate it over here, even though it's not ideal, right? Even though it's not something I would like to have really, but it's something I need to have. So I'm gonna have my sugar. That's at least some efficiency. And we're gonna have the road then moving all the way over there. Gone it is, right? Perfect. Next in line, the sawmill. We can move it down here now. We should be doing this anyway because it's reducing the attractiveness of the surrounding area by quite a bit. And I want to have my industry zones basically set up here now. So I'm going to have my sawmill somewhere here now. Another building goes poof. The paper mill is something I would also like to relocate. It's useless over there. And it makes sense for me to have it somewhere here by the cliffs, right? Makes the most sense visually. So I'm going to have this one somewhere over there. And this opens up already a lot of space. The main problem about this area is my logging camps. So before I move the logging camps, let's get rid of all the streets here. Like so. My intention is to keep the mining going for now, but we'll just see how long. And we can now move Yggdrasil over. The reason for that is we have a bit more space here. Also, it's a beautiful higher plateau where we have this tree then looking down onto the city, right? I like this. So let's get going with this. Let's just make sure that it is aligned to the road, like so. And then we can move the whole monument basically now to this side here. And then we have the streets here, right? This makes space over there now that we can use then. So let's get also the beekeeper over. And as you can see, the nature bonus already moves with it, right? So we can use this now here then as well. There's the beekeeper. And the logging camps are moving to the other side now over here, where we had them previously set up. Same goes with the herbalist. Also moving now here to my Yggdrasil building. The tree houses, they're just perfect here, honestly, right? Where we have the overlook then of the city. And you can just have a beautiful, quiet area here where those tree houses are accompanying each other with maximum bonuses. They remain at their base efficiency here of 73 now, as they're clumped together in this area. So there we have now our logging camps. Let's just make sure that they are also connected with the road properly. And this one. And then of course we need to get the trees going, and for this I also should activate my reforestation again. So the cost of manually placing trees is reduced by 50% and it runs for 2 years. Pretty great edict actually, and now only now do I see the advantage of this, right? Because if we want to do it like that, you need to have a lot of new trees, and this basically costs you a lot of coin. So let's just replant it all here. There you go. And with that we have a whole tree area now ready again for construction. So this is my tree area for now. I can also move the palace now to this new location here, as it's overlooking now, and together then with the library and stuff like that as well. The one expansion that we unfortunately need to do now is the fire station. It cost me 6,000 on the money side, but it's gonna be very important because, yeah, we have a lot of fires raging in Tropico right now, and I'm making sure that we have it a bit central, and I hope that we have the helicopter expansion to that then as well soon. Now, for the city itself, where we are starting with the city, right? We're continuing also with remodeling here a few roads that we have. So this road here also doesn't make that much sense to me anymore. Let's get rid of that. The same goes with this road here. It doesn't look super clean, and I would like to have this one to be clean. Now let's have the bunkers over there. And then we can move this one into a straight line here. There you go. And then we have this one here. Yeah, it's always a bit nasty looking. the road system. Can't do it like that. Probably will try to make it one step away. Then we have the bunkhouse in the way again. Holy cow, you're kidding me. Also would like to have my circus a bit further outside here somewhere. There you go. So that we have this curve here. That works a bit better for me. Okay, with that we have a bit more room now to really get a city going, right? Because without it, it's not gonna be great. We have the industry over there. There's one Teamster office right now doing the job. I think we'll need a second one here soon. And all the way down here we have now all this industry. So we're still waiting for the plank production to really kick in again. Took some time, right, after getting rid of the logs. But we should be getting some decent amount of money in again. Perfect. Since we're paying quite nicely, I would also like to start with houses now that have a higher quality living. The apartments are great for this. Tenants must be well off or better. We have quite a few of them now. And I would like to start with having some apartments now. I'm gonna have one here, over there, closing in on all of these buildings here. We can have starting an apartment row then somewhere here. And I would like to also have a some apartments now here by this road here, basically, right? There's a bit of a slope. That's not ideal. So let's start with the apartment here. We can remodel this one to have it here, the road, right? There you go. Looks also much cleaner. Down here we have the bunkhouses. Increasing the budget will also lead to a higher quality housing for these people. So this will make them happier. One thing we definitely will need to focus on as well is some kind of healthcare. So a clinic is important now as well. I'm gonna have the clinic as central as possible. Once again here in my future main city area, right? So that we can start with that as well. That's gonna be lots of export. Very nice. And we also finished another trade route again. Boats and tobacco are the ones available now. Still no cigars, but we're gonna work on that soon. Not the best ones here right now. Okay, we also won the first election. 163 loyal Tropicans voted for you. Was a bit close because their support rating is not the highest one right now. But of course, switching some budgets here and there is something that you can do easily. You know, switching the budgets for the houses and stuff like that. So that was the first real test after the relocation to make things work again. And now we can just happily continue here with our city. Another thing I would like to get going is the manure spreader finally. So this one here uses manure that we produces in the ranches to increase the efficiency of nearby plantations, for example. So we have this tiny slot available here just now. Let's go ahead and place this one in, and this is boosting all of these plantations here together. Very good. By the way, if I make this one like so, now we cannot absolutely reach the one up here. I could do it like this though. This would work. Wait a second. We can make this a bit more efficient by actually getting in the sugar up there too, by just getting rid of 2 fields here. Yeah, this works. So we can get all of them in, right? This one here just loses 2 fields, and that is my corn plantation, so that is fine anyway. As corn is worthless, it's really just there to, yeah, feed the population. If you don't have enough of that, well, then that's bad luck. Alright, let's also have the apartments, right? So these are all apartment complexes that will start then here. Also got our first restaurant here by the circus. Lovely. So this is where people can now go and eat something. A new type of apartment also is the flop house. This is something that is low quality, so it's not like the apartment. It's also cheaper to produce or to build, yeah. And in that case, you can have more people stuck or, yeah, stuffed into this one here, right? So I would like to have at least one here in my industry zone down here, where we, or 2, where we really do need to have workforce. And then I would also like to have them up here in my plantation area, for example, so that workers from the plantations can work on that. Even though, don't forget, the plantation workers are actually quite rich, right? So we have a high budget for them. So these are well off, in fact, the farmers in Tropico. Definitely have a problem with delivery right now. This logging camp here, for example, has a logging capacity of 3,000. It's full, right? What is going on? So we definitely, first of all, increase the budget for my Teamster offices, and I'm gonna have another Teamster office. I'm gonna set this one up here also in my farming and industry zone. We could also have it just beside the other one, honestly. Yeah, makes the most sense. And let's quickly finish this one too, so that we have the new Teamsters coming in ASAP. Finally, the business is booming again. I would like to work on my next industry right away, the cigar factory. It's super expensive. Like, look at that, 20,000 we need to pay for it. Yeah, you can also wait for a treasure hunt for this to kick in, right, to get it. But this would take potentially a very long time. So I'm not doing this. We're gonna build this one instead with our hard-earned cash. And yeah, let's just use this one somewhere. It's a pretty big building overall. So I would like to have it probably somewhere here in this area. Placing this one, and we can then process our tobacco that we're producing into cigars. A very nice new export. The other one would be, let's just have a look at that. We have fish and pineapples. Yeah, so cannery would be nice. And that's probably also something that we can work with. However, look at that. It does require electricity. And that is something we don't have yet, so I'm not gonna bother with it. However, the steel factory is still valuable to me because we also have the mission here with the charcoal burner now. That is a new production coming with the DLC. There it is. Relatively expensive, honestly. 6,000 it costs in total, and processes logs to produce coal. And we have a lot of logs, so let's just get this going somewhere here by the sawmill, right? We can get this one together and have it here. We have 1,700 logs in, so we have plenty of logs available in total. Also, this one finally has been taken care of, the surplus that we had there. This game is really beautiful up close. Looking at all the different industries. There it is, our charcoal burners now, with kiln and pile, slowly burning wood, or hasty burning. We can also increase the log consumption and the pollution by increasing the efficiency by 30%. And also pile management decreases the log consumption by 20, let's do this, 20% overall. Very tiny building, this one. Easily squeezable. And there's also my new cigar factory now, waiting for its first tobacco to come in. Let's actually reduce the budget for now. And then we can produce cigars. For this we should also watch out. There it is, a cigar trade route. I'm gonna go start with that. Lowest volume so far to quickly finish this one too. Okay, this one's pretty important for my beekeepers. Protective suits. Equips all workers with beekeeper suits. What? They weren't working with one so far? Oh, those poor souls. And this one increases the building efficiency by 10% and the job quality by 12%. Very good. Also here we have the industrial pollination. Efficiency of nearby non-hydroponic plantations is increased by 10%. This effect does not stack. This is interesting because that means that theoretically I could have those beekeepers, as far as I can see, also with my plantations. The problem is the plantations are causing non-nature, right? Because there's no trees and anything like that. So this is... yeah, this is hard to pull off, I think. The plantations, by the way, are working with a very nice efficiency now. 132. This one's a bit down for the coffee. But we have still another upgrade coming in here. And the manure spreader also has enough manure in. Very good. That's important. The rest of the manure gets over then to my tree. With coal being finally produced, it's also time for my next industry. And that's the steel mill. Purchasing that, that's another 15,000 on the expansion, but well, there you go. Let's also have this one here by my pollution, right? So somewhere here, just by the coal really. And now we're getting the iron from the iron mine and the coal from the charcoal kiln to produce then steel. And that's really important because steel is going to be important for weapons and stuff like that. Bit of a rebel attack over there too. Shouldn't be a big deal though with my guard towers. But we need some more modern military, definitely. Not enough tobacco in, okay. There's my tobacco workers. Not the highest efficiency we have. These ranches though are pretty nice because some of them have the manure fertilizer. So this increases the efficiency of nearby plantations by 10%. So I need to make sure that I'm moving this to the plantations so that we can further boost their effectiveness, right? And with that we have an 80% effectiveness coming out of that. Oh, come on. That is just very tight though. So gotta have it over here. Yeah, now it's affecting them. Okay. Now we get some very nice trade routes here, like the cigar for 20% increase. I'm gonna go with the highest volume here. We don't need to finish trade routes quickly anymore, as we do now have a very good reputation with everybody. Steel would be something that we can go in a low demand here. And unfortunately no boat right now, or books, because those are still two of my very good ones here. There's a bit of rum. Do we have a rum trade route? No, we don't. Let's get us a rum trade route going. Steel mill ready for action. Very important that one is. And with that we have a new type of export now. Finish the promise for the healthcare. Very good. Next in line, power plant, theater, circus. You want to build me another circus? I guess we could do this, but I'd rather not. I would also like to work on a very important building now, the bank. This is super expensive though, right? So this will cost me 22,000 to build. It will, however, generate interest on my money. And that means that the more money we have, the more money we can passively make. And we should start watching out for service income, right? So not only exporting, but also making money on the island itself. And the bank is a very nice first step towards that, even though it's expensive, of course. And let's have the bank somewhere here in the center of it all, right? In my city center where we can have it. So it's probably just here by my palace somewhere. Alright, another one is probably then the customs office. This one is also very expensive. So I'm waiting for another wave of export, because with this we can increase the export prices. And that's pretty important. It's actually more important than the bank now that I think about it. So not the best order. I've also just built another tannery again because we need more leather. So I'm gonna push this one. Another building, or another edict, sorry, that I like is now with the World War's agricultural subsidies. Increases the efficiency of all agricultural buildings by 25%, but increases the upkeep of those buildings by 50%. Now, plantations generally need very low upkeep, so increasing that by 50% is something we can easily manage if we get more goods out. So let's issue this edict here right away. This will cost me to 5,000 immediately, but that's okay. Got a treasure hunt finished there as well. By the way, how many treasure hunts we still have? Go ahead and get these ones done here. Might be thinking about another wonder at this point too. Stonehenge is really nice because it makes the trees grow around the monument faster. So this is something that actually makes sense for me, as we do need a lot of logs anyway. Also, this export is gonna look juicy for us. Very nice, 40,000 on the income. And this makes it possible now for me to also finally have the customs office. Very important that I get this going. More income out of my exports. And let's have this one once again in my my government area here somewhere. It's probably here, here, here. Or just behind the bank. Also makes sense. Let's have it behind the bank, really. Look at that steel mill. It's stuck with iron, and holy cow. Let's increase the budget right away. Decreases efficiency, increases efficiency, but upkeep as well. Let's get this one going too, as we want to process more steel than ever. Very nice input here. Holy cow, that's a lot. Do we have a good steel trade route? Potentially. Not available right now. And there's also now my customs office stimulus exports. So this one is increasing now the well, the import or the income that we get out of exports, to the export prices. However, we still need to hire foreign workers because this is a college education. Speaking about education, I don't have that yet, so we should also work on some education for my people, and that's with a high school. 10,000 is a lot, but that's okay because you get trained people out of that. So I would like to go ahead and get me my first school going now. And I would also like to start with a newspaper. This one has a radius around that, and within that radius we can influence the people living there. And since this is going to be my general main area to live in, I'm going to build this one also here in the center right away. And let's also make sure that we have a bunch more houses available. So I'm probably also going to have another row of apartments here. Let's make 2 of them for now. Another election, 1, very good, more than ever. We're also above 400 now, our constitution stays the same. Remember when we had the nickel over here, right? Now is the time that we can actually get this going, because we will need nickel soon for a new production that I'm looking forward to. Let's start with the nickel mine first though.
Presidente, I know you
faith happiness we need to increase. That was my promise out of the election. We do have a lot of chapels already. I think there's the church as my next major building, but it's expensive. We still have that leather input problem. It's crazy. It's been going on forever. Despite having the tannery now working too, I will probably need to have even more ranches that produce leather somehow, or hide for that matter. So the cattle has the meat and the hides. This is something I like. The rest is rather indifferent, right? Or crocodile would be just flat out leather. Could also do that. Somewhere over there. Some over here. No, this is too central. So let's have another crocodile ranch up here. Since we really need a lot of manure, I'm gonna build me another ranch. We could have another one here. Set up like this. Set up like this. And another one here. Oh, this would work. Nice. It's clipping into each other a bit, but that's okay, it seems. Oh, it's not. Okay, it was a visual bug. It's not really clipping. There you go. Also get the ranches up there and also have the pasture prohibition working for them so that we have a nice manure production coming out of that. On top of that, the manure fertilizer we can have in addition. We need to have a lot more manure if I want to grow that tree, right? There's so much demand for manure. And as we can see, progress is there, but it's tiny. Since we have the money, I would like to also work on a few more upgrades here, but there's none available, unfortunately. We can definitely go for a church now, though, so this will cost me a bit, but that's okay. And that church will bring us in a lot of faith happiness. Let's have this church somewhere here, by the main road. There's also this new building here, the Wayside Shrine. Increases the visiting citizens' faith happiness by 10 and only visited by people when walking nearby and with faith happiness lower than 60. Alright. It's very cheap, so I'm gonna go ahead and have this where we have lots of people going back and forth, like up here in the plantation area, most likely. It's really just the street here, right? Where should we have this one? There we have definitely a lot of traveling, right? So this is also where a lot of people go back and forth. So this looks like a very good location for it. Just here by that cliff. And let's also have it up here. This is where they're going back and forth. Oh, you really cannot build this anywhere here. There's also lots of back and forth in this area. Increasing happiness. 40% support rating we have with that. 85,000 coin. What are we doing with all that money? I know what we're doing. We're building weapons. Weapon factory. It produces steel. Processes steel and nickel to produce weapons. This is super nice. It's also very expensive. But holy cow, with that we can make some juice. And with that, the tree-hugging nation of Tropico becomes a weapon exporter. Let's have this one right here. That's gonna be great for income, really. I could also work on processes milk to produce cheese with the creamery. Sounds good on paper. Not really something I would like to go with right now. Also, when we look at those apartments here, we can also see that most of them are making us coin, right? So this one here makes me $68 per month right now. That's because we have the budget set not to the highest level and it's fully occupied. So in this case here, those apartments are quite profitable if you let them be. Let's just check it out. Do we have homeless? Yeah, we have 24 homeless, poor and well off. Where are the poor working? Because we need to check this out if we want to know. Oh, okay, it's the homeless ones that are poor, but they're not completely broke yet for some reasons. They're the broke ones. So these are unemployed. We have 18. So this kind of like corresponds with the number of unemployment there too. Alright, vacant homes we have enough though, right? So poor the bunk houses. We could probably, yeah, clear a bunch of them now. I would like to do this. We have too many bunk houses anyway. And they just cost us money if we don't occupy them properly. So let's go ahead and make this one a bit more efficient for us. We can have another flop house. Let's have another flop house probably here, right? And we have already 2 up there. Reason is we don't want to have too many of these flop houses, right? They're very low quality. I rather want to mix it with more apartments then. Down here we got some very high level industry now, right? So this is where you basically want to have apartments then set up and stuff like that. So let's have another apartment probably here. And we can have the space in between mixed in with a little park. So that we make this one a bit more appropriate. There we have more space again. It's probably for something like, yeah, a tavern I could think about it. Or more or less also a restaurant. So those people can eat somewhere. They don't have a place for that right now. So let's get going with the tavern and the restaurant. It's relatively cheap. And then we also have this new here one. The climbing park. Provides fun for visiting citizens. Preferred by thrill-seeking child tourists. Visitors must be at least poor, can be placed in areas with higher nature values to increase its efficiency. Now, where do we have the nature efficiency? Yeah, of course it's up here, right? So we could have one here by the bees, all the way up here in the top. You can't have it like this, really. That terrain is killing me. Over here you can have one though. I would like to make it so that it's really at the edge of it. And people can go there to increase their fun levels. Alright, our beautiful church has been built. It's looking a bit isolated right now, but we're getting there. And this one is providing more happiness now. Let's also invite someone in and increase the efficiency. It's time to also purchase another trade license. Getting really expensive now, 15,000, but we can afford this. And also get us another trade route going. So we have the boats going. I would like to go for books. Let's go with the highest volume there too. No weapon export right now. I'm waiting for one, as my weapon factory is now up and running. Still waiting for nickel to come in now. Should be any moment. There it is. And with that we have the weapon production now up and running. Though we need more nickel. So far so good. I promised you the city would change quite a bit, and now we're working on downtown. Getting a bit more money in is important still, so opening up more industry, and then we follow along with our DLC here. Upgrading the nature is fun, or nature is holy for our tree. Looking forward to this. I hope you enjoyed this one still. Tropico 6 does not disappoint. Stay tuned.